Pro Bowl rosters announced. Frank Ragnow is a Pro Bowler for your Detroit Lions, which, certainly he's one of the very best in the game at his position. Lots of Lion alternates. However, Amon-Ra St. Brown, despite the fact that the numbers are better than some of his contemporaries that did get named to the Pro Bowl, was not. And to me, that one, you want to get in the weeds about the Jared Goff thing, fine. But Amon-Ra St. Brown, that's a travesty, man. For Amon-Ra, and look, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. But the bottom line is, Amon-Ra St. Brown is a star in the National Football League. Make no mistake.
And maybe I'll defer to Terry on this, but isn't this more of a case of maybe not watching early on or watching Detroit Lions games specifically like a Lions fan like we do and know the value that he is? Or is it biased, Terry, or is it just not the numbers?
I think a good part of it, the Lions just were not on the radar for the last few years. Now, the last few weeks, everybody noticed the Lions, but that may have been too late. And it's sort of still a popularity contest because the fans have a vote in it. So, in the NFL, I mean, it's nice to make the Pro Bowl, but you want to make all pro.
And that is the one that matters.
Yeah.
Make no mistake, and I get that because it's your contemporaries and stuff like that. But the Amon-Ra St. Brown omission to me is a travesty. Because, again, watch Lions football. Watch one game. And more importantly, watch a game where he didn't play.
And Amon-Ra St. Brown is I believe he's 24 catches away from breaking the record for most catches in the first 2 seasons of a player's career.
Well, here's where they don't break it down even further, is what he means, to his own team, because you can get rid of your first-round tight end and not miss a beat by replacing him, but specifically because Amon-Ra St. Brown plays in the middle and takes those short yardage plays, is a security blanket, I think to Terry's point, maybe not in the past few years, even at the beginning of the year, because once they start losing and they're 1-6, how good can your guys really be, right? Isn't that the perception, Neil? That how can you have really good Pro Bowl players on a losing team?
And look, guys, through all this, and I knew that we were going to have this discussion, and through it all, and Terry, I think you can speak to this. I always go back to the Pistons example when Isaiah showed up on the scene and you had to fight your way through. You got to fight for the respect and all that kind of stuff. That's just the way that it works. When you're a historically bad team, you have to be around for a while, Terry, before you get these kinds of things.
Once you get on it, you really have to screw up not to get on it again.
Right. Yeah, and that's the other thing too. What was the list of the NFC Pro Bowl quarterbacks? It was Tom Brady, right?
Let me check.
What?
Was it? I mean, I know Jalen Hurts was on that list.
Yeah, well, I would
right?
expect Jalen Hurts to be on that list.
You know what's funny though?
Did Russell Wilson make it then? Tom Brady made it?
You know what's funny about it is for me, Brady.
It's Jalen Hurts, Geno Smith, and Kirk Cousins.
All right, so Tom Brady didn't make it, despite the fact
nor should he.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a travesty, or that proves Terry's point.
He's third in the league in passing yards, man. Same number of picks as Goff, 20 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? He is.
I mean, but the offense has just looked so stagnant.
I know, but that's the thing. The eyeball test says that he sucks, right?
I mean, he looks washed to me, and he's not putting up your typical Tom Brady season when it comes to numbers. And just watching that offense, it looks very stuck in the mud. I would have put Jared Goff in over Kirk Cousins personally if we're talking about snubs, because Kirk Cousins, he actually is having one of the worst statistical seasons of his career. It's just the ball is tending to bounce their way more often for the Vikings this season, and they're getting wins. That just shows that the Pro Bowl, it rewards winning teams, and to some extent it should.
But I always go back to when somebody accepts an award in pro sports, they always thank their teammates, and that's a huge part of it. The Lions are 7-7, and I know they beat Minnesota, but Minnesota is going to end up with 13, 14 wins or whatever. That plays a huge role. Plus, in the NFC at least, Kirk Cousins is a name that's debated a lot, whether he's good or bad or indifferent. Is he overpaid? Jared Goff doesn't have that. Yeah, he came from the LA Rams, was demoted, and so the perception of Jared Goff has got to be, well, damn, he lost his job with the Rams. He can't be that good. So I think that's why he's not on there. But Jared Goff should be on this team.
Oh, I would agree. But what about Spencer Raxter? Let's go into the eye of the story.
He'll say
Absolutely.
yes.
He got
Even
stubbed.
Spencer will say yes.
Yeah, I think he should be.
Who in front of who?
Cousins. I think he should be in there over. I think obviously you have to put Hurts in there. Geno has earned it for sure. But yeah,
but again, Cousins goes to the record of the team, right? So, yeah, is this which is a bigger snub in your mind? Amon-Ra?
Yeah.
I would say the bigger snub was Jared Goff, and let me explain. It goes to the depth of wide receiver in the NFC. Obviously, Amon-Ra St. Brown has had a phenomenal year. He is a star, but he's not going to get in over Justin Jefferson, who's the best wide receiver in the NFL. A.J. Brown deserves it over him with what he's done to this offense and helping Jalen Hurts out. And then you look at guys like Terry McLaurin and C.D. Lamb. I'm not saying they're better than Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't think they are, but the Cowboys...
No, the McLaurin one is deplorable
but
to me.
the Commanders would also be like, if we didn't have Terry McLaurin, look how worse our offense would be. It would be the same kind of argument. They're all good players. They're all good players. I think they should put 5 NFC wide receivers in at this point. But what about another snub? I think Jonah Jackson not being in over Landon Dickerson is a crime to me. I think Landon Dickerson got in just because he's on the Eagles. Lane Johnson and Jason Kelsey obviously deserve to be on, but Jonah Jackson has had a phenomenal year. He's kind of almost quietly been, I would say, arguably the Lions' best offensive lineman. I mean, Penei Sewell and Frank Ragnow have been great too, but Jonah Jackson's had a great season. He should have been on a Pro Bowl.
I think Frank Ragnow being the 5th alternate is a little wild. Like I can understand him not making it over like
Kelsey or
who they got Trent Williams, Lane Johnson, and Tristan Wirfs. So like that's fine. But the 5th alternate though, that seems a little disrespectful.
That was Taylor Decker, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's what I said. Yeah, Taylor Decker being the 5th alternate
Ragnow is
crazy.
on the team.
Yeah, Ragnow's on the team, absolutely. But let's not ignore the elephant in the room here from the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. And Byrne wants to know, and we'll pose this to Sam Flannel, the real travesty, Tom Kennedy not making the Pro Bowl. Your thoughts?
The Pro Bowl practice squad.
The Pro Bowl practice
That's right.
squad.
You know what? You're around there catching footballs on the sideline.
I know you guys are just trolling me. I know you guys really don't mean what you say.
No,
but
actually, we're not, and
No.
yes, we do.
Answer Burns' question from the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Answer it now.
You're not getting out of this.
I mean, 8 receptions. Obviously, that should be
How
a Pro Bowl
many of
season.
those-
Game-changing receptions.
Yeah.
Would they be 7 and 7?
How many of those were on third down conversions for first downs, though? I would say at least 40%.
A couple.
Right.
That's not
Which
a
a couple of 8 is probably about 40%.
That's not a Pro Bowl season, obviously. I know you guys are just messing with me.
He only catches big passes.
He caught some big passes, but that's not Pro Bowl. That's
not
role
according
player.
to you. Anybody would have caught those passes.
I didn't say that.
Yes,
That's,
you did.
I never said anybody would catch him. I gave him credit for making those plays. It's the fact that he's barely had to make any of them, and the offense has looked just fine without him. They've been humming, especially in the Jacksonville and Minnesota game. Tom Kennedy did nothing, and Jared Goff looked damn
They're
good.
not scoring 30 points without him.
Steven Syrett wants to know, and I, again, I was busy working yesterday, so I didn't get all the particulars on it. But Steven Syrett asked the question, and I share this question. Spence, did T.J. Hawkinson make it?
He did.
What?
The tight ends in the NFC are Kittle and Hawkinson.
We're done talking about this.